Welcome to the Adaptation Fund's training course on locally led adaptation grants for project proposal preparation. The course has 4 sections. First, an introduction to LLA single country grants, including project formulation grants. Second, access to templates and support. And third, an overview of the different proposal stages. There is a case study and review at the end of the training. The full training takes 22 minutes to complete. You can pause at any time to apply part of the training, or take a break and return at your leisure. The aim of the training is to support the preparation and development of high-quality single-country LLA grant proposals. The objectives of the training are to understand the LLA proposal templates and navigate through the information required for a strong proposal. For further information on the principles of LLA and more case studies of LLA projects, please ensure you have watched Part 1 of this training, LLA Introduction. Section 1. The Single Country LLA Grants Window. This training focuses on the Single Country LLA Grants Window, available to accredited national implementing entities, NIEs, regional implementing entities, RIEs, and multilateral implementing entities, MIEs, of the Adaptation Fund. To apply for a single country LLA grant, the LLA grant application form must be submitted together with a signed letter of endorsement by the designated authority to the Adaptation Fund. Applications are accepted on a rolling basis. There is a maximum funding amount of $5 million. Unlike regular single-country projects, which follow only a 2-step process, concept note and fully developed proposal, single-country LLA projects have the option to follow a 3-step process, pre-concept, concept note, and fully developed proposal, offering additional flexibility to support early-stage project development and local engagement. The length of the proposal should not exceed 6 pages for the pre-concept, 50 pages for the concept note, including its annexes, and 100 pages for the fully developed proposal, and a further 100 pages for its annexes. Applicants can choose to go through the 2-step or 3-step process, depending on their level of readiness. Project Formulation Grants, PFGs, are available to support the development of single-country LLA projects. For single-country LLA projects which have a maximum funding amount of $5 million, the maximum PFG that can be requested is $150,000. There are 2 ways to access this, depending on the project approval process used. In the 2-step process, the full PFG of $150,000 may be requested at the time of concept note submission. In the 3-step process, a maximum of 20% of the PFG, this is a maximum of $30,000, may be requested with the pre-concept. The remaining PFG amount of up to $120,000 can be requested with the concept note. Additional PFG funding is also available on a case-by-case basis. Recognizing the need for greater upfront support to enable the effective involvement of local actors, an additional PFG of up to $100,000 may be requested at either the pre-concept or concept stage. This is evaluated on a case-by-case basis based on the justification provided. The following activities are eligible for support under the PFG: local consultations and workshops, including translation and preparation of background materials, gender and environmental or social risk analysis and the development of corresponding plans, travel for experts and stakeholders to support participatory project design, free, prior and informed consent processes and related consultations, site-specific risk assessments and hazard mitigation analysis, policy, cost-effectiveness and data-related analysis, enabling activities to devolve decision-making to local levels, development of project indicators and M&E plans, consultancies to help provide project options and designs, document translation, and capacity assessments of executing partners. The PFG form has 3 parts. Part A, the project preparation timeframe. Part B, the proposed project preparation activities. And Part C, details of the implementing entity. Part B is the most detailed and requires a list of project preparation activities with their outputs and assigned budget. Part B of the PFG form must specify the activities that would directly serve to enable devolving decision-making to the lowest appropriate level and enable local actors to make informed decisions on how adaptation actions are defined, prioritized, designed, and implemented. In Part C, the implementing entity fees for the PFG must not exceed 8.5% of the total requested amount. A case study. Bhutan submitted a single-country LLA proposal concept for the project Securing Water and Enhancing Climate Resilience in Thimphu District in Bhutan, including a request for a PFG of $250,000. The $150,000 PFG will be used to finalize the full project proposal through extensive local stakeholder consultations, feasibility assessments, and technical studies, including a review of local indigenous knowledge on water management and translation of key documents into local languages. The additional $100,000 PFG will be specifically used to enhance local-level decision-making by strengthening participatory governance mechanisms and building the capacity of local actors through capacity-building workshops and learning visits to other successful adaptation sites. These efforts aim to devolve decision-making power to the lowest appropriate level and ensure that adaptation actions are locally driven and sustainable. Each activity was aligned with the goal of the project and provided with a detailed description of the activity and an associated budget per activity. Section 2. Single Country LLA Grant Proposal Forms. The Single Country LLA proposal preparation documents and templates are accessed on the Adaptation Fund website. In the top navigation bar, select Apply for Funding. Select Locally Led Adaptation from the drop-down list. On the LLA page, use the side panel to select LLA Single Country Grants. The full information regarding LLA Single Country Grants is now displayed. Scroll to the end of the page to download the proposal templates. To access the PFG form, return to the top navigation bar and select Readiness. Select Readiness Grants from the drop-down list. On the Readiness Grants page, use the side panel to select Project Formulation Grants. The full information regarding Project Formulation Grants is now displayed. Scroll to the end of the page to access the project proposal materials, including the PFG form. Section 3. Developing the project proposal templates. Step 1. Pre-concept. The LLA pre-concept proposal has 4 parts. Part 1. Project Program Information. Part 2. Project Program Justification. Part 3. Implementation Arrangements. And Part 4. Endorsement by governments and certification by the implementing entity. The length of the proposal should not exceed 6 pages. A maximum of 20% of the PFG, up to $30,000 may be requested with the pre-concept. Particular focus should be given to Part 3 of the pre-concept form, where it is necessary to highlight the mechanisms that will ensure direct access to finance for local communities, actions that will contribute to building local capabilities in a sustainable manner, and the consultative process planned for project preparation, with an emphasis on involving vulnerable groups, including gender considerations. The implementation arrangements at the pre-concept stage should only briefly explain which organizations would be involved and how coordination would be arranged. Step 2. The Concept Note. The LLA Concept Note proposal has 3 parts. Part 1. Project and Program Information. Part 2. Project Program Justification, with a focus on LLA in A, B, D to H, and J. And Part 4. Endorsement by governments and certification by the implementing entity. The length of the proposal should not exceed 50 pages, including its annexes. The full $150,000 PFG may be requested at the time of concept note submission, or the remaining amount of up to $120,000 if a pre-concept PFG was already accessed. Additional PFG funding can also be requested at this time on a case-by-case basis. Particular focus should be given to Part 2 of the concept note. Sections A, B, D, E, F, G, H, and J require detailed LLA information. A. Specify how the project or program enables devolved decision-making to the lowest appropriate level and gives local institutions and communities more direct access to finance and decision-making power. B. Specify how the project or program is addressing structural inequalities faced by women, youth, children, people with disabilities, people who are displaced, Indigenous peoples, and marginalized ethnic groups. D. In addition to national plans, describe how the project or program is also consistent with sub-national and local strategies and plans. E. Describe how the project or program will provide support to local actors and build their capacities to comply with the standards. F. Describe how the project or program will ensure coordination of different initiatives, sub-projects, and small grants towards a common goal and enhance collaboration across sectors. G. Describe how the learning and knowledge management component contributes to building and institutionalizing local capabilities. Provide particular details on managing traditional and/or Indigenous knowledge. H. provide details on how the consultative process considered and addressed gender-based economic and other inequalities and encouraged vulnerable and marginalised individuals to meaningfully participate in and lead adaptation decisions. J. Describe how the project or programme supports long-term development of local governance processes and improves the capacity of local institutions, and how it can ensure that communities can effectively implement adaptation actions over the long term without being dependent on project-based donor funding. Step 3. The fully developed proposal. The LLA fully developed project or programme proposal has 4 parts. Part 1. Project Programme Information. Part 2. Project Programme Justification, with a focus on LLA in A, B, D to H, and J. Part 3. Implementation Arrangements, with a focus on LLA in A to D. And Part 4. Endorsement by governments and certification by the implementing entity. The length of the proposal should not exceed 100 pages for the fully developed project document and 100 pages for its annexes. Key considerations for LLA must be highlighted in Parts 2 and 3 of the proposal. In Part 2, Sections A, B, D, E, F, G, H, and J require detailed LLA information. These sections are the same as for the concept note, but require further detail and depth at the fully developed proposal stage. In addition, Part 3, Sections A, B, C, and D require detailed LLA information. A. Describe how the implementation modalities enable local institutions and communities more direct access to finance and decision-making power over how adaptation actions are defined, prioritized, designed, and implemented. B. Describe how local stakeholders contribute to the design and management of project risk management. C. Describe the role of local actors in developing and managing measures for environmental and social risk management. D. Describe how the monitoring and evaluation arrangement deploys innovative tools to enable monitoring by the community and local actors. Section 4. Case Study and Review. Case Study. Development of a project proposal from Rwanda. In 2022, Rwanda's Ministry of Environment successfully proposed the project Rwanda Subnational Adaptation Fund EDA. The LLA project explicitly targets vulnerable rural populations, including smallholder farmers, by supporting cooperatives, CSOs, and local institutions that serve them. Key elements are devolving decision-making and finance to the local level, building local institutional capacity, and embedding local priorities. Grant eligibility within the project is tied to local reach, fusidiary competence, and inclusivity, including that interventions benefit marginalized groups without overburdening them. In the project proposal, Part 3A, the implementation arrangements detail how the project uses Rwanda's National Climate Fund, FONRWA, to channel adaptation finance directly to local government and civil society organizations. In Part 2, Sections A, B, D, G, and H describe how the proposal includes structured support to help local organisations conceptualise, deliver and report on adaptation projects. Fonowa's fund management team provides training, safeguards and financial management support. A dedicated call for proposals ensures that funding reaches subnational actors to design and implement context-specific solutions. Priority interventions are selected through a consultative process with subnational stakeholders, aligning with Rwanda's NDC while ensuring local relevance. Focus areas include sustainable land management, small-scale irrigation, agroforestry and water conservation, all issues raised by rural communities. The proposal provides local-level action and decision-making with support for grant management and ongoing finance access. Project Proposal Recap. When developing an LLA project proposal, ensure that Part 1 briefly describes the LLA proposal. Part 2 ensures that the LLA model is clear and well aligned to the adaptation needs of the communities as well as the project aim and objectives. And Part 3 clearly describes the funding model that will allow the flow of funds to the most vulnerable communities and state how they will be supported to build ongoing capacity. Part 4 must contain the endorsement by governments and certification by the implementing entity. Test yourself with this quick quiz. Is the LLA project proposal application process 2 or 3 steps? What is the full amount of a PFG available? Is community consultation an important part of the LLA project proposal process? Here are the answers. Did you get them right? Thank you for completing the LLA project proposal training.